I would say like during the peak of storm damage, if videos are rolling in fairly hot and heavy, I may have saved literally an entire day a week not having to go out and look at those jobs, but then I was able to fill in other bids where people weren't using groundwork. Our biggest goal was to try and find a way to like weed out customers that maybe were not a good fit for us. Because we would spend a lot of time every week going out to visit these job sites. It's like, this probably isn't the right job for us. Are we just wasting our time on a bid anyway? And so kind of, I guess, qualifying those customers before we get to the job site. And that's something that we've been struggling with for years, because we do kind of promote ourselves as like, we're not going to be the cheapest service out there. And so if these people are just tire kickers, they're trying the cheapest service, that's not us. We don't want to show up, but also we don't want to seem like jerks on the phone. Like, hey, are you just looking for the cheapest price? And so having these videos, seeing what people are actually asking for, and getting them talking, before we get out to the job site, helps us, qualify those customers a little bit. And sometimes we can say, hey, we can come out and give you a bid, but we may not be the best option for this job. And then even potentially suggest, some other services that may be an option for that job. Like we had one the other day that it was a storm damaged tree trunk that had like come up, and we just didn't really have the equipment to deal with it. Our stump grinder wouldn't get it. And it was really something that needed an excavator. So like now I can tell that lady, hey, that's not something we can do. And that saved me 45 minutes to get out to her job site and back. Just, not to have to look at that in person. I can tell from the videos, like, yeah, that you're going to need an excavator. A lot of times with storm damage, if it's insurance work, like people don't necessarily need to show up. And so we can get an idea of the equipment we need, right from their video. And then we can send somebody out without ever having to show up and really even ever give them a bid. So they're like, I don't care what it costs. My insurance is going to pay for it. I need somebody to get this off my house now because there's water coming in. So like that's been pretty good. I guess that has helped our close ratio maybe because we've been able to respond faster. So like in that aspect, really good. Before the video leads, sometimes people would email us pictures or text us pictures or whatever, but the pictures, still do not quite do it justice the way that a video can, where somebody can actually walk you around the property. So yeah, I bet just in storm damage alone, I bet there's been 50 or 60 jobs that we didn't have to go to because we had a video. We know what we need now, send somebody out. So that was pretty nice. We saved time, but like we still filled up my schedule doing other bids. So we were just able to hit more. I would say like during the peak of storm damage, if videos are rolling in fairly hot and heavy, I may have saved literally an entire day a week not having to go out and look at those jobs, but then I was able to fill in other bids where people weren't using groundwork. Sometimes people just aren't that tech savvy or they're scared of it or whatever, so they're not using it. So they're like, hey, I need you to come out and look at this. So we were able to get those customers done as well as the people that were in groundwork. So yeah, so I would say like normally we're probably hitting 10 to 15 bids a day per salesperson, just like going out to the site and visiting the site. We may be able to add an extra 3 bids a day per salesperson, depending on what has actually come in through groundwork. I would say for the most part, I think people seem to like it. Especially it seems like more and more we're getting into areas where, and like I'm kind of this way, like I would rather not talk to somebody on the phone. If I can shoot a text message and be like, hey, this is what I need, and send a video, and then it's texting back and forth, like, that seems to work pretty well. I feel like, especially like I like that kind of stuff. Honestly, I would say like plant healthcare for me, because a lot of times people can send me a picture or video of like what they're dealing with. That being said, I still may need to go out a lot of times and look, because a lot of times you may be dealing with like some sort of pest issue or whatever, but there's an underlying issue So the people are showing you the pest issue, but we're not necessarily seeing the underlying issue. But if I can diagnose a pest issue on the phone and say, oh yeah, this is, I just had one, the lady was like, something's eating on my tree. Well, it was an ash tree. So it was obviously emerald ash borer. And I was like, this is what we can do for emerald ash borer. And now once I send somebody out to do the actual treatment, if there's more work that needs to be done, then we can upsell while we're already out there doing the treatment instead of, going out and doing the bid the first time and maybe getting that treatment, maybe not. For us in tree care, like we're always looking for the perfect solution, and there's never, ever a perfect solution. But as long as you can get better, then that's a step in the right direction. So I feel like for us, this groundwork has been a step in the right direction.